Good morning, YouTube. It is Friday morning, just after 6 a.m., and I just wrapped up an easy 6-mile run. So last Saturday, almost a week ago, I ran the Maroon 4-pass loop up near Aspen, and that was an incredible run. I'll tell you about it here in just a sec, but it was also the hardest run I have ever had to do to date. So I wanted to ask you, what's been the hardest run that you've ever done or had to do? It could be something related to distance, 50 mile or 100 miler, even just a 10K, 5K, 1 miler, or it was at a pace that you were trying to achieve, or some sort of interval training run. What was it? What made it hard? What made it so difficult? So, as I mentioned, last Saturday I ran the Maroon 4-pass loop, hardest run ever, and that was 28 miles with a 8,000 feet elevation gain, starting at an elevation over 9,000 feet and passing over 4 different passes, which reached about 12,500 feet. I was actually feeling great, really strong up through mile 15, 16, even mile 17. And then about mile 18, as I traversed the third pass on our counterclockwise journey, just got tired. My body just wasn't sure it could handle it anymore. And then by mile 20, we were passing over the final pass, had to climb that. And then the last 8 miles to the trailhead were very rocky and technical, which made it harder to run on tired legs. I'm glad I did it. It was an awesome experience. Fall is in the air, the leaves are changing colors, so you can imagine up there in Aspen, all the aspen trees were just gorgeous, bright yellow and some red, just wonderful. But yeah, that was genuinely the hardest run that I've ever done to date. I'm sure there'll be some run that surpasses that, maybe my 50K race next year in May, who knows. But before that, I would have said a 4x2 mile interval training was probably going to be my hardest run to date. That was where I did 2 miles at a 6:30 per mile pace. The first mile I could muster through. It was that second mile that was awfully hard to maintain that pace for me. And then, of course, repeated 4 times. Before that, it was probably a 5K effort that I was trying to beat 20 minutes. I didn't do it, but I managed to accomplish 20 minutes and change on that 5K self-imposed race. So, and there's been different runs, training runs that I've done, certainly that have been the hardest at that point. What's interesting is that as we continue to just get out there and work on our training and push ourselves, recover well, what was once hard or a personal record eventually becomes fairly easy and the norm, or I remember a 5-mile run was difficult, and now 5 miles is extremely easy, and then 10 miles became difficult, and now 10 mile isn't that big of a deal. A few weeks ago I was running a 16-mile long run, and I realized that by mile 13.1 that the casual pace that I was going at was faster than my race PR half marathon from a year prior. So I just think it's amazing what our bodies are capable of. But let me turn the question back to you. You can let me know in the comments. I'd really be curious, what has been the hardest run for you to date? Until next time.